Okay, so today's gear review slash gobbledygook or whatever is the Roland AIRA System 1 plug-out synthesizer. And I'm going to do two things. I'm going to make a sound using the native System 1 synth, and then I'm going to make a sound using the SH101 plug-out that I have loaded into it. I do have another plug-out loaded that I could load into it that I don't have loaded. So, I don't know. I'll get to that at some point. So, this synth obviously isn't that old. It's also not very big. But it's pretty awesome. It's actually one of my favorites that I've ever used. When I went into the store to get a new synth, I wasn't intending on buying this. I was intending on getting just the micro brute. But I started fiddling around with this, and within 2 minutes, I knew that I wanted it, because it sounds awesome, and you can do so much with it, and there's so many things you can do on the fly. So, anyways, I've just loaded up a simple saw. Let's go through some of the shit that it has. Okay, and obviously it has filter ADSR and amp ADSR. It also has a built-in bit crusher, which is fun. It has this tone knob, which changes sort of the overall timbre of the sound that you're using. And of course, when you set it to something and you save the sound, it saves that knob placement, so you don't have to keep remembering where it needs to be. Key follow on the filter, your filter envelope thingy. It has two types of low-pass filters, a negative 12 and a negative 24 dB. It has a high-pass filter, which is fun. The resonance on it is... The resonance on it's pretty good. It all depends on the type of sound that you're using. It has a pitch envelope, which is fun for doing, stuff like that. It has two oscillators, a sub-oscillator, which you have a choice between minus 10 and minus 20 octaves. Sorry, minus 1 and minus 2 octaves. I was reading it wrong. It has a noise, which, obviously, if you wanted... Yeah. So anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself here. This thing is a lot of fun to use. So yeah, you have independent volume control of the varying oscillator parts in the mixer section. You have control over your mean pitch of your oscillators. You have 64, 32, 16, 8 foot, all that stuff, both of them. They also have color knobs, which affect this mod sort of matrix here, so you can have like or something. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure how it achieves what it's doing. But it does some neat shit. Has LFO, of course, syncable LFO. You can sync it to tempo. It has a portamento knob and for legato for the portamento. It also has poly mode and mono and unison. It has built-in reverb. Now, in the editor utility, I believe you can actually change the type of reverb. I've never found a need to because it always seems to just work for whatever I want it to be. Has a built-in delay. It has your delay sort of mix and your delay time. I mean, really, it's awesome. And it's got, you know, ring mod and oscillator sync and stuff. So, Oscillator 2 has a tune for your detune, which is great. So you've got your waveforms are saw, square, and like a triangle. But then you have a super saw and a super square and a super triangle. I think that's basically what that is intending. So you have like... Sorry, turn that shit off. So I like to just start with a 16-foot saw wave for oscillator 1, and I'll do the same for oscillator 2. But I'll detune it because that's more fun. I might change the color of the second oscillator. We'll try out the ring mod. That's cool. Whatever. Now what? Now it does have a built-in arpeggiator, which is great for the type of sound that I'm going to make right now. I want to make a really sort of... Now, instead of a pitch wheel, well, it does have a pitch wheel, technically, but it has one of those things. And for mod, there's actually a button that you hold down. So, I mean, but people don't really do, well, aside from me, they don't really do huge wanky keyboard solos with massive amounts of vibrato and shit. There's a very few of us that still do that, and but I'm always going to, so. So the LFO section is, you know, we'll just apply a pitch LFO to that. And fade time is sort of like a, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the delay time on a, so if we... Put a nice... You know, I've seen some people complain about this synth sounding kind of thin, but I don't think it's a fair comparison, you know, to compare this to other things. I know it's intending to, you know, operate and emulate to a certain extent the old analog greats, but it's not, you know, it just doesn't do that. It's got a character all of its own, and I rarely, like, I make sounds that I think are great within minutes, and that's exactly what I want out of a piece of gear. I don't want to have to spend, you know, a half an hour trying to, you know, get together a sound that it's inspirational and captures what I'm immediately wanting to do. I want to just be able to dial something up and be like, all right. Like that right there would be perfect for me. You know? Sure sounds retro as shit, so, I mean... But some people just like to complain if it's not a fucking, you know, mini Moog or whatever. So, but fuck them. I like mini Moogs. I meant fuck the people that complain that this isn't a mini Moog. Of course it's not a mini Moog, for fuck's sake, you stupid butthole. Anyway, so the arpeggiator section is pretty fun because it has a 1 octave up, up, down, and then it has a 2 octave down, and up. You can change the step time from 1/4, 1/8, 1/16, 1/4 triplet, and stuff like that. So you just put the key hold on, and then you can Right, so I don't see anything wrong with anything that just happened right there. So, yeah, obviously put it. Right, so it doesn't need that much delay. Right, so I could literally do this all day, so I guess I'll end the video there. And right up next is I'll use the plug out synth, and I'll make something new on that. Cool.